Introducing Instagram Teen Accounts, a new way to keep your teen safer as they grow, like making sure they always have their seatbelt on.
All right, sweetie pie, buckle up. Good job.
Or ring the bell on their bike.
Okay, kid, give it a try. Nice.
Or remember their elbow pads.
Knees too, okay? Yep. There you go.
New Instagram Teen Accounts. Automatic protections for who can contact your teen and the content they can see.
Optimize your nutrition this year with Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal service. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved, ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Choose from 40 weekly options across 8 dietary preferences, like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Eat smarter at factormeals.com/listen50 and use code LISTEN50 for 50% off, plus free shipping on your first box. Factormeals.com/listen50, code LISTEN50.
Having been at Torrey Pines a few weeks ago, and having never before set foot on the grounds, I was anxious to watch the Genesis.
Yes.
Do you know what Ludwig Aberg won it by a shot over Maverick McNeely?
Which Scandinavian country is he? A Danish? Is he Danish?
I don't know.
What is he? He's a hell of a player.
Guess what first place paid him?
3.5.
$4 million.
Ooh, that's
Second place was $2.2 million.
And this was supposed to be at Riviera,
right?
And Riviera didn't get burned down, right? But they figured,
I think you couldn't get to and from it.
It was too close to. So because I think Riviera was like a mile away from where the river they were blazing. So,
Joe, may I ask you a question?
Yep.
Was Torrey Pines as beautiful as I made it seem to you when I had the chance to play there a few years ago?
With your bag of balls,
plastic bag of range balls.
I wish you'd called me, and I would have like sent you 100 to buy a bag so you didn't embarrass the station by walking out there with a plastic bag full
I not only didn't bring my own clubs, I bought a driver at a used, sporting goods store and left it on the I just left it there.
Pat, they got Liv to thank for this.
Oh, yes, they do.
For a $4 million first prize at the Genesis. Mm-hmm. What the hell?
They started those designated tournaments. They made the tournaments like the 3M Open just it's a tough sell now because you're not a designated tournament. You're in the end of the summer. Now there's a few good players like Justin Thomas was last year or the year before where he had to show up and because he was still trying to make the top 75 or whatever it was. But that doesn't. You gotta be a loyal sponsor to do that now because of where they put you. I got to tell you this before I move on and it pops off my screen. So I'm looking at the pairings for the state girls hockey tournament.
That's this week, isn't it?
This week. Yep. Class A, Dodge Center.
Oh yeah.
Which Dodge County, I think they call it for girls hockey, but it's the #1 seat.
Are you kidding me?
Rochester suburb. They're seated ahead of War Road.
Wow.
Hermantown didn't make it, I don't think. But they're playing the #8 seed, the River Lakes Stars. So I figured, okay, there's no River Lakes High School. So who are the River Lakes Stars? Here are the River Lakes Stars.
All right.
Rocori, Albany,
sure,
Eden Valley Watkins, New London Spicer, Paynesville, St. John's Prep, which I thought was all boys, Belgrade, Bruton, El Rosa.
That's one team?
That's one team.
That's not fair.
No, but it's a 50-mile radius, so how do they get the kids to practice? That's what I want to know.
Holy mackerel.
I don't know what rink they're using.
Well, Jess's family used to live in Belgrade when they first moved here.
Yes.
That's a healthy jaunt to get from one of those schools to the other.
Yeah, oh, God, yes. And where do they have practice? That's what I want to know.
Wow.
What do they all videotape themselves?
Count the number of schools.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 schools.
Okay, statistically, wouldn't it stand to reason that they should be the best in the state? Take the just the two best from 7.
It's down to
There's
John-
14 people right there.
You know what John Gagliardi used to say? Every town, no matter how small,
They got somebody.
has the guy who's the homecoming king, the
Yep.
quarterback, the point guard in basketball,
Yep.
and the shortstop in baseball.
Yep.
And there's 2 girls like that too in every school.
There's
right?
14 girls
There's
right off the
14
bat.
girls, yeah, that are the premier athletes in the
Who
school.
do they play in the opening bell?
Well, they play Dodge Center down the.
Well, they
which
got
is another phenomenon of hockey, Joe, is the Rochester suburbs.
Byron is a powerhouse.
And Dodge Center are now stronger in hockey than Rochester is.
Wow.
The suburbs are just booming down there and very good athletically. And I think Byron's up to. Are they 2A by now? Maybe.
I don't know about hockey, but they're a
in
powerhouse in
they're
football,
like
and
4A
yes.
by now.
Yeah.
But
And
anyway,
it's called River Cities?
River Lakes.
River Lakes.
Recording.
I'm calling them as your winner.
Yeah, I would. It's Willie. I might have to call up the coach and say, "Where the hell do you practice?"
Right.
You know.
I wonder
What
if
do you
they
do?
practice in different spots.
I could. I don't. But do they also have 16-year-old girls? 3 of them getting in the car and driving in the winter
I don't like
to
that.
various places because they can't be running a bus in from each one of those spots. So
I think it's worth finding out. How in the hell did you have your practices?
yeah.
And how do you get together for games?
Just think of just think if you're parents of a hockey player down here, you go crazy trying to follow them around. Think it up there. You got, driving from
Yeah, that's.
God knows
I
where.
would not be
don't know
okay with
what-
that.
St. Cloud, they can't be playing at the St. Cloud rink. I don't know which one of those towns has a rink.
Well, I know for a fact, or at least it didn't when Jess's siblings were going to school at Belgrade. They didn't have hockey. No. Well, probably Ricori.
Did you hear
right?
about the Hill Murray, was it Moorhead game? Friday night?
8-7?
8-7, and Hill was down 5-1 or
Yeah,
Wow.
big roaring comeback.
what a
yeah.
game.
No,
They won it in overtime.
You didn't go.
No, but I saw the film.
Okay.
And next week, they will be having their traditional section final game against White Bear, I suppose.
yeah.
They always play each other. So,
And let's stay on hockey.
yes.
Did you see any of the Four Nation game, Canada and the U.S.?
The Kachucks apparently didn't like the fact that we were getting to having our national anthem booed.
Okay, I thought of something.
What?
What would any other sport have done what the hockey team did? Go nuts at the opening bell because you ripped the anthem or you booed the anthem.
I don't know. Who
Do you
would
think
have done it.
baseball would have done it?
No.
At the
Maybe,
World Baseball
maybe.
Classic, maybe throwing at somebody,
throwing
maybe.
at somebody,
But
I
see,
suppose.
there's no way to start a fight in baseball.
Did the
Hockey's, they're begging you to start a fight. You face
Did
the enemies 2
Kachuk
feet
boys,
from you.
Did the Kachuk boys admit that's why they started the brawls?
I believe so.
I thought I read that quote
they
somewhere
did.
too. Yeah.
But they turned this meaningless exhibition nonsense into something extraordinarily fun.
And they had a. Does anyone blame Canada for booing the national anthem? Does anyone blame them?
Well, they got a lot of tariff problems
Yeah.
because the big guy's going to tariff you.
Yeah, I know. The big guys that come, trying to say he wants you to be the 51st state, and I don't think they're ready
I
for
don't think
that.
they want to be that.
No.
Did you
So,
see he drove on the track yesterday prior to the Daytona 500?
He took a lap.
Yeah, in the big presidential limousine, the
Oh,
Beast.
okay. He
But
didn't
he's
drive
talking
it.
through the microphone as he's driving around, saying, "This is your favorite president, and I'm glad to be here, and good luck." And
And then the race finished about 14 hours later.
yeah, they had a lot of rain delays.
They had a lot of rain delays. It was going on about 10:30 last night, I think. There's a, you know what? Baseball's had that time of game problem. The Daytona 500 has a time of game problem too. They moved it up to avoid the rain,
Yep.
but they didn't avoid the rain. So they were going to start at 11:30 our time and they probably ended 11 hours later our time.
Why would F1 race in the rain, but stock cars won't?
I don't know. I can't figure out how F1 does that.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't want to.
Better tires?
They can afford tires.
No, but I meant, is it just the way that the...
I don't know.
The other thing is, they're going way faster,
Yeah.
though, those F1ers.
True.
Well,
So
these
they
guys
just-
were doing $1.80.
Oh, yeah. But the difference, I've covered you've covered the Indy 500, right?
I have not.
Okay,
I
I've
never have.
covered about 3 Indy 500s and maybe 8 to 10 stock car races. When the stock cars come by in the straightaway, you know which car it is. When the Indy cars come by, it's just a color. It's just a color.
Yeah.
So they're going a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's 40 miles an hour faster, but whatever it is, it's enough to
Well,
go.
will the Indy 500 be running in rain? I'm trying
No.
to think. I don't think so.
No, they don't
Usually
run it.
Kenny's the one, Pat, that usually chronicles the Indy 500, right? You have
He
always
goes to
assigned
it
that,
every-
to Kenny.
Well, he represents the show.
Correct.
He's a correspondent.
9 fireball shots in.
Yeah, he doesn't know where he is, but he's going to cover
You know
it for
who's
us.
a lifelong, from when he was a kid, psycho Indy 500 guy?
Isn't it
Chris
longer?
Long.
Yeah, longer.
Chris Long. His
The
family's
Channel 5 guy?
Yeah.
His family's there no matter where he is in the world.
Really?
He'll be at the Indy 500.
Aren't they from there? What's their
Yeah,
connection?
Yeah, and back in the day, remember, Joe, when qualifying was a big deal, and
Yeah.
they'd get publicity 3 or 4 weeks in a row. The first week of qualifying, the second week of qualifying, and Charlie Hallman from our paper, St. Paul, used to go down there and live for like 3 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I assume it was a hovel, but
That's when papers had some money. Mm-hmm. And a building. They had their own building.
Did you get our sports section today?
Yeah.
That was a nice
She was
pamphlet.
pretty slim.
Yeah, it was it looked like your paper
that's,
and your sports section. And but the thing is, we got 4 total pages. We got pictures like this. Somebody put a story in the damn paper, for God's sakes.
I believe that's what Kenny calls it, right? The Pioneer Press pamphlet.
Well, ours is a pamphlet today. Monday, the day after the Super Bowl, 4-page sports section. We used to devote 4 pages to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
At least. Of course, we didn't cover
Your Monday after the Super Bowl was 4 pages.
Well, but
What a big picture. Like this.
Yeah.
what was there really to cover though? Because everybody's on break, right? There's no what for the sports page for this weekend is I guess what I'm trying to say. What was really good?
I think that's now their Monday deal.
Okay,
Mondays,
gotcha.
The Monday. You're not going to strain your back taking the Monday paper off the stoop. I want to tell you, you couldn't kill a fly. He'd laugh. You go whack like that, he'd laugh. Say goodbye.
Monday, huh?
Yeah, right. I'll hide till next week. I'll come out on Monday again and land on the sugar.
The Gophers won at USC.
Yep.
Is that
Over Eric Musselman.
yeah.
Eric's the coach.
Oh, I
there.
forgot. That's right.
They
He's
win
out
some
there.
unusual games.
They do. They pop up and win.
Yeah.
They've won They've won 2 road games in a row. Penn State's now no good, but this one, Southern Cal's mediocre. But they beat Michigan, which is now leading the Big Ten, and then Oregon is overrated. They're not that good, but they have won some unusual games, and I didn't see that one coming. Tomorrow they have UCLA, which is better than Southern Cal. So.
They stayed out west, didn't
Yep.
they? To make the tournament, though, they still would have to win the Big Ten tournament, right?
Yeah.
Well, Joe.
The big thing is to make the Big Ten tournament.
You gotta make it,
finish
yeah,
in the
yeah.
top 15 out of 18.
Yep.
They're right. They're 1 game clear now. If they win 2 more, they should make.
Is he going to be able to save his job?
I don't have any idea. I don't know. Coyle.
Because I'm rooting for him. I wanted the program to turn around, but
Here's the trouble. Whatever happens this year, there's only 1 guy coming back. They're all like seniors.
oof, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
That's not good.
Well, he's got some recruits, 3 or something that have committed. Although now, the piece of paper you sign now is not like binding you to you can change your mind and go someplace else. So Yeah, but that was a good win for him. But he seems like a good enough fella. Dave Thorson's his assistant, the De La Salle guy, and I communicate with him once in a while. And I asked him to analyze how they won the game, and they said they came up with some goofy defensive strategy that confused the Southern Cal. Although Thorson, who actually was around long enough to have been around Bill, I said something about the goofy Eric Musselman, and he said he's goofier than his father. And
Really?
I said, no, I said I wouldn't go that far.
Wow.
I would not go that far. Eric's wired up, but he's not up to Bill's standard.
Sure. I completely forgot he took that job because wasn't that the guy that made the run with that Florida Gulf Coast? Wasn't he the USC coach for a while?
Yeah, he got fired.
Oh, he did. Okay, so
He took another job, but a lesser job to get out of there before he got
Okay.
fired.
What Dutchers in San Diego?
Brian, the son who was a long-time assistant to Steve Fisher at Michigan, when they got fired, Fisher was out there, and he stayed as Fisher's loyal assistant for 12 years
Something
or
like
something
that,
in San
yeah.
Diego, and then he got a job, and he went to the Final Four. 2 years ago?
yes.
2 years ago.
San Diego State or University?
San Diego
Yeah.
State. Went to the Final Four, and Dutch, who's 90 now, by the way, and still sharp. Dutch, who's got in the financial business after he left the Gophers, and did well like they all do. Maybe not Louis well, but well.
Yeah.
And he's been, he's an old, I don't know what Dutcher is, Dutchman or how, Germany or something, but he was known to be somewhat tight with the buck, even when he had a lot of bucks, Dutch.
Yeah.
So he was flying the whole family to the Final Four in Houston, and I was exchanging texts with Brian, and I said, "Boy, I bet your old man had divided affections when you were playing that regional final. Since he'd promised to take the whole family to Houston, he was probably undecisive whether he wanted you to win or not, because he had to get him hotel rooms and all that good stuff. So, but Dutch is he's still doing good. Yeah, he's 90 now. So, anyway,
We have no baseball news.
Oh, no. What are you
yeah.
talking about? The Twins had a big signing over the weekend.
We have no baseball news.
Ty France,
Yeah.
who we've declared to be our first baseman, even though he hit 190 last year in
Roughly.
Seattle. And he was an all-star 2 years ago. But there are cases of players popping up and then being rotten, and they end up being rotten. We've already declared this guy to be our first baseman. They got him for $1 million, which is like $500, and they declared that they're going to fix him as a hitter. So anyway, they've brought in 2 or 3 guys, but they're not really high price guys.
No. And they can't find anybody to take the catcher that's overpaid.
No, they got a big red. When Christian Vasquez walks out, they got him wrapped and gift wrapped in case somebody wants him, with a big red ribbon around his head.
He'd be the sofa Joe at the side of the driveway saying free.
And I bet they'd pay half too if somebody'd take him.
Probably.
Yeah. So
So we got that going for us.
we got that going for us.
Is tonight the last night of the Four Nations?
No, Thursday's the finals, and we're already in it.
I thought
Canada has to be. Right now, Canada's playing Finland.
Just a minute. I think you're wrong.
No, I'm right.
Well, he's got to go find the
I'm going
newspaper.
to get the pamphlet.
He's going to go get the 4-page newspaper.
I don't care.
Joe, I can look it up.
Canada's playing Finland right now. You got a score?
Four Nations tournament. I'm going to look it up right here, Patrick.
If Canada loses, then we won't get to play Canada again.
I could just look it up on social media, I suppose.
I thought the Wild played this week.
No, next week.
Uh,
I think they're playing at noon. They dropped the puck at noon, I think. Canada, Finland.
That was a nooner.
Yeah.
And then tonight, USA and Sweden.
Yes. I'm trying to tell you, though.
The Wild play Saturday.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, Thursday's the last game then. Okay, you were right. We were both right.
Well, they have airplanes and stuff.
What's the score?
If your game is Thursday, you can get to.
Well, you can get there.
Yeah,
What's this Finland, U.S.,
I don't know.
Canada score at this moment? It won't pop up on my phone.
How can the USA already be in the title game? What if they lose to the Swedes?
No difference. They were 2-0, so they already.
The standings are as follows.
End of first period. Canada 3, Finland 0. So we'll be playing Canada Thursday night in Boston.
In Boston.
Yeah.
Well, our anthem will be treated with
Two
respect. in
teams,
Boston.
and probably Canada's will get booed.
Are we going to have another Tilly then, right at the beginning, if Canada's get booed?
Maybe Canada. I don't know if Canada's got any tough guys, though. Do they?
USA with 6 points. Canada, Finland, and Sweden each have 2. So there you go, Joe.
And but I think Canada beat Sweden, so Sweden, if Canada wins, is out of luck. They can no show tonight, so it won't make any difference. So, by the way, Saturday's game, 11:30 in the morning. Is that correct?
For what?
Wild and Red Wings.
I see 11:30 a.m. on ABC.
Wow. I got a hunch.
It's not an outdoor deal, is it?
That's 12:30 in Detroit, though.
Is at our place, I thought.
No, it says at
hell.
Detroit.
I was going to say that had free column for Ricey written all over it with an 11:30 puck drop here in St. Paul, but doesn't do us any good if it's in Detroit, for God's sake.
What else is men's? Okay. Yeah, this is a weak sports section today.
Oh, my
Holy
goodness.
smokes.
They have to improve to be a weak sports section.
You know what that reminded me of, that line right there?
Oh, wow. Outdoor hockey.
Remember when we had that?
All right, I got to ask you a TV question.
I'm here.
Rogue Heroes. Have you watched it?
I have not.
Rogue Heroes is on. What is it on? MGM Plus or what? What's it? I'm not sure it's on. You got to watch this. It's fantastic.
What's the premise?
It's World War II. It's not historical, but it's about a unit that they formed in World War II in Africa when they were trying to hold the Suez Canal that had no rules, basically. A bunch of Brits and they would blow up anything they could blow up, and try to get German planes while they were sitting on the ground in Africa and stuff. But then they go to Italy, and they kind of lead the charge into Italy. But they are a very irreverent crew, and there's a character in there named Patty Main. There was a real-life Patty Main who they really got this one over the top. Apparently his family didn't like the way he's depicted because he didn't swear, and this guy's got a foul mouth and a lot of stuff. But Rogue Heroes, it's outstanding. You'll love it. And
All right. Is it how many seasons?
2, and there were 8 episodes the first year. This year there's only 6, and last night was the 5th.
And it's done after that?
You know the impact of the Super Bowl?
I don't like long series.
No, that's it, I think. You know the impact of the Super Bowl? They didn't have one last week. It's usually released on Sunday.
Yeah.
But they didn't have one.
All right, I'm writing it down. Rogue Heroes.
Is it Paramount?
Paramount Plus?
It's either Paramount or MGM Plus. I'm not sure.
What is it called? Rogue Heroes? Is that what you said?
Rogue Heroes.
I don't know if we got that MGM.
Well, order it, cancel it, watch the series, and cancel it.
It says it's from 2022. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, they rerun it.
Sure. Okay. It's on MGM Plus.
MGM Plus, which isn't bad. I don't know what that costs you. $10 a month or something.
Chances are he's got it.
$10 a month.
We watched one called Night Agent.
Oh, yeah, that's very popular.
It's
In fact,
popular.
Night Agent, well, then you have it because I think Night Agent's at the same.
No, it's Netflix.
No, Netflix. But I guess Rogue Heroes, one reason they may not ever have a third season is because Night Agent is bringing in more dollars for whatever the outlet is that wants them or something.
It's pretty much a cliche, but it's done well.
Night agent?
You know, the
it's
guy
done
that's,
great. Yeah.
the government's out to get him, and he's got
Yeah.
to protect the girl, and they're shooting and running around. But it's filmed well and done well.
Mm-hmm. We have this problem because with this streaming, you know, they release something, then it disappears, and then they bring it back for 2 years. And we started one last night, and I said, "We've already seen this."
Really?
I said, "Yeah," and she said, "I don't think so." And about 10 minutes later, she said, "Yeah, we've already seen this."
All I'm waiting for is Slow Horses.
Yeah.
When is it? Season 5, right?
Yeah, but it just ended 2 months ago, so you're going to have to wait 6-8 months. And that's it, too, I think.
Well, there's 2 more seasons.
Oh, really?
Yep.
2 more seasons? Well, yeah, it's fantastic. TV is better than it's ever been. That's
Is there
for
anything
100%
on regular
sure.
channels? Is
No.
there anything on network
So once in a
television?
while you run across one. Here's a good one for you, though. What's your streaming service?
We got them pretty much all, but
I
I
mean,
use.
what do you use for your station?
I usually use Netflix. That's the one.
No. But for the regular stations, what do you?
Oh, I use Fubo.
Oh, you got Fubo because apparently I can use YouTube.
I thought about it, but
I use YouTube, and supposedly CBS and YouTube are. CBS is leaving YouTube, which means you got to watch the Masters. It's the only golf tournament you care about, right? So
I tried
have to go
YouTube,
to-
and I don't like
might have to
YouTube.
go to Fubo.
It's Pat. I think it's way better
Not
Why
only
wouldn't
is-
you get CBS?
because
Why
they're.
wouldn't I
I'm
get
trying here. I'll lay it out for you this way.
Masters?
Right, but don't you get CBS right
I
now?
said that supposedly in 2 weeks it's disappearing.
Do you two listen to each other when you
Well,
do
he
the
only
show?
gets it on YouTube?
Joe, YouTube is it's a service.
I don't have.
The reason I
Comcast.
stopped using YouTube is because they're always in contract negotiations with these
Yes,
certain
We're on
channels.
YouTube.
So you don't have.
Garage Lodge is on YouTube.
Jesus God Almighty!
Do you know that? In fact, I think
yeah,
this show's
that's
on.
different. I got to tell you, there's YouTube TV, which is
I give up.
YouTube TV, which is a list of channels that you can watch. Okay, and then there's YouTube, which people get their own site, and there's so much stuff on YouTube. It's incredible, and that's where we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now in Technology Corner with Joe and Patrick.
Yeah, but I'm way ahead of him.
Oh
on this.
God! Well, look at him. He's saying, "Well, we're on YouTube."
I might go to Fubo, 2 reasons. A, it's probably better. And B, I like saying Fubo.
Yeah,
And
honestly, I'm very happy with it. I think it's great. Seriously,
Okay. Well, maybe
it's about
I'll go to Fubo.
what is it? About $80 a month.
Okay,
It's-
which is the same as YouTube.
The only thing that stinks is once in a while.
Jesus Christ. We just had a Delta CJR go down in Toronto.
Oh, really?
And I only know that because we got people flying back from Europe right now. Boy, it's an Endeavor. The plane's upside down. Some survivors. I didn't know that.
In Toronto?
Yeah. In Toronto. And
We don't know where the plane was coming from?
we don't.
I'll look it up, see if I can find something for you, Joe.
Yeah. I don't have people going to Toronto, thank God. This is crazy, man. We're having too many of these.
2 in a row.
It was a crash landing at Toronto Pearson Airport. No casualties have been reported as of yet.
Oh, wonderful.
Crash. We came in on the belly then?
Yeah, it looks like it may or may not have been weather related. Crews responding to a plane crash. Initial reports indicate that a Delta Airlines CRJ 900 operating as Delta Flight 4819 from MSP International to Toronto was involved in the incident.
Well, I'm looking at a picture of it. It's upside down.
Yeah.
That ain't good. It's from here?
From MSP. Yeah.
How in the hell do you get upside down and the plane is intact?
Oh, my God.
I don't know.
Oh, my
I
God.
wonder if he landed it upside down.
No.
Remember that
probably
movie
flipped.
where, who's the movie actor?
it's
Denzel
from here.
Washington
We
was the
got,
pilot who landed the plane upside down?
We got issues
No kidding.
from here.
Well, I assume, Joe, that's why you brought it up, but I didn't know that you didn't. Okay.
I brought it up 'cause I just saw it on my
Gotcha.
phone. Holy mackerel, the plane's completely upside down.
Is it in flames or not?
Yes, there's some smoke, but no, there does not appear to be a conflagration. How are you supposed to get out of it? I don't, well, the door's open. I'm just looking at it.
All right, here we go. Currently, numerous emergency crews are on the scene at Toronto Pearson Airport after a Delta Airlines flight from Minneapolis-St. Paul to Toronto, operated by Endeavour Air, crashed and landed upside down. The flight, Endeavour 4819, reportedly had many passengers safely evacuate through the exact number of though the exact number of injuries remains unknown. Authorities are assessing the situation, and emergency responders are working to secure the aircraft and assist those affected.
They hold 80, 90 people. It's the one that crashed in Washington, was a CJR.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Also Delta.
When did an airline named Endeavor pop up? It must be a replacement for somebody. I never heard
Well,
of it.
don't these big carriers all have these little tributaries?
Wholly owned subsidiary of Delta. Yeah. Well, that takes care of the humor for today, huh?
Well, unfortunately, people listening to us probably know people who were on the flight.
Yes. Well, it's not. It sounds like that most people are going to survive. Doesn't it sound like that?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at a video of them.
I think isn't there stormy weather south of us, and I think the weather's lousy.
I'm going to look at the radar.
In Toronto.
Yeah.
It looks like there's snow on the ground, Joe, with the video that I watched of the emergency crews in the airplane. But
Wow.
Well, it's a plane crash, so we don't know anything yet.
we don't know anything yet.
They say survivers. I hope that's true.
We're getting out.
But how are
Yeah.
you supposed to get out of an upside down plane?
right.
Yeah.
Well, you get the door open. It doesn't really make any difference.
Yep.
Let's retire and go to a TV.
Okay, sounds
I think
good.
we'll do that.
Yeah.
All right. Do you need an ad?
I do need a Valley Group, Patrick, if that's okay.
Jim Paul, Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM dealers. Last night I'm watching TV, and 2 different times I saw an ad for the Envision. Man, are these nice-looking SUVs. And the good news is these were for the 2024s. 2025s are also showing up. And there's low interest rates, 0.9, 1.9, and also rebates, factory rebates from Buick, from GM on these. There's Sierra trucks, heavy-duty trucks, and a Jim Paul and Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers, Apple Valley and Hastings. They have over 100 new vehicles in stock, ready to move. Go check out that Envision if you're looking for something for the family or looking for something for the high school graduate that's coming up here pretty soon. Jim Paul, Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM dealers, my guys. I recommend them highly. This is Ricey for the Canopy Group. Are you tired of being stuck with just one insurance agency and one company? Most agents represent only a single insurance company, and that can be very limiting. But you deserve more options, more agents, and more companies to choose from. The Canopy Group offers you the expertise of 50 specialists to access 16 trusted insurance companies. While some names like Auto Owners and Progressive may be familiar, there are other companies too, each with unique coverage options tailored to your specific needs. And your life and circumstances change, the Canopy Group works hard to find the best coverage from a company that specializes in exactly what you need. Are you sure your home and auto are properly insured? Don't settle for one-size-fits-all coverage. Get options with the Canopy Group. Visit thecanopygroup.com today and take the first step toward better, more personalized coverage. Thecanopygroup.com.